So today we're starting at the La Costa Town Square, and I gotta say it's one of the most beautiful days we've had in a long time. We're in mid-October right now. If you guys seen any of our last vlogs, it's been a little bit
dreary.
Dreary is a good way to put it. It hasn't been so nice. So we're taking in the day. It's gorgeous. It's like 78 degrees. This is what San Diego's all about. We're in an area that a lot of people, if they are searching in San Diego and come across Carlsbad and looking at price points in different houses, this area comes up a lot. It's called La Costa, and it's kind of confusing. There's a lot of different La Costas. We're gonna let you know everything you need to know about La Costa, show you 3 different neighborhoods, different price points, where you're gonna be shopping, what you're gonna be doing here, and everything in between. So let's jump into it right now.
Right now we are at La Costa Town Square, which is one of the newer centers here in Carlsbad, kind of on the southeast side of Carlsbad, right in the heart of La Costa. There are a ton of great spots in here. It's kind of one of the biggest centers in this zip code. You've got a grocery store over here. You've pretty much got all the amenities you need. Nail spot. There's a ton of like chain restaurants, so like Chipotle, Jersey Mike's, Habit, Starbucks, all of those types of things. But there's also Sinopolis. There's also Bushfire, which is right behind us, which is a great little kind of barbecue-ish restaurant.
Barbecue-ish.
Ish, yeah. But they do have some barbecue food. They've got really good salads, and they do have live music sometimes as well. It's definitely a spot we hit up quite often.
Real quick on live music, you're not going to find like a lot of live music in this section. If you've been to if you've been to Carlsbad, maybe like the village of Carlsbad, if you visited, that's probably where you probably haven't been to La Costa Town Square. But I did just see, so they have a little bit of live music here, but there's a new Thai place down here that's having a little bit of live music, so might be changing a little bit. I don't really think so, but it's still, you're still in the suburbs out here. But continue, my friend.
And we're also going to show you a little bit later. There's a kind of old center that has been revitalized right in the heart of La Costa as well.
Let's turn around. Let's show them behind us too. Go for it.
Yeah, this is kind of the main drag of this La Costa Town Square, but there's also a spot we're going to show you in a little bit that is definitely the hot new spot in La Costa.
And one of the reasons La Costa is kind of confusing is because like every neighborhood up here is named La Costa. We're going to go hit La Costa Oaks, which surrounds this shopping center right here. But you have La Costa Ridge, you have La Costa Valley, you have La Costa Meadow Ridge, you have what other La Costas? Old La Costa,
new La Costa.
Yeah, there's just
there's also 2 Sinopolises in La Costa, which happen to be really far apart too. So
yeah.
La Costa is, like Chris said, one of the kind of confusing ones. But we kind of break it up, especially like when we're chatting with clients, between kind of North La Costa and South, because they do feed into different school districts.
Yeah, so we're gonna go hit up the La Costa Oaks, which is separated even that into La Costa Oaks South and North. We're gonna go hit that and show you what the houses are about and give you a little more idea of what it'd be like to live here.
La Costa Oaks, walking through the neighborhood here to kind of give you a feel of what it's all about. But as a whole, La Costa Oaks is one of the newer master plan communities here in Carlsbad, built in kind of that mid 2000s range. And what you're going to get here is one of the highest price points in Carlsbad, and La Costa specifically, and also larger homes. So big houses on big lots. They do take up most of the lot though, not huge yards for the most part. So as you can see, since it's been around since the mid 2000s, everything's grown in. You got lush front yards here, and it just has a really good feel walking through. Pretty quiet neighborhood for the most part.
In a few areas like down closer to the town center, you could actually walk down there. So if you needed to go grab something at the, what is it, Albertsons down there?
Vaughn's.
It's a Vaughn's down there. So if you need to go grab that real quick. Most of these communities in this section of Carlsbad are not walkable. As far as, obviously you can get out and about, there's tons of sidewalks, all that kind of stuff. There's, if you want to walk to trails, there's actually some trails right behind here on this big hill. It's like this big preserve as well, where once you get to the top, you can see out to San Alejo to the, which way would that be? To the west a little bit? To the
east?
East a little bit, yeah, not west. But when you look west, you look down there, you see the lagoon. beautiful up there actually, and there's a bunch of little trails. You can bring mountain bikes up there as well. There is one con. There's some big power lines running through certain sections of this, so whether you like them or not, obviously they're going to potentially block your view or something like that. But for resale, some people don't like it, so just keep that in mind if you're looking up in this area.
There's not only just this section of La Costa Oaks that we're in, but there's also a northern section. They each have their own clubhouse, kind of different amenities at those clubhouses, but it's going to be a little bit more affordable. It's a little bit further north, as the name says, but off towards San Alejo Hills a little bit, and those are going to be even a little bit more affordable and even a little newer.
And if you are thinking about moving out this way, you got some questions, doesn't matter if it's next month or next year, hit us up. Cassidy, Chris, the other way around though. This is Cassidy, I'm Chris, and we're real estate agents right here in San Diego. So call, text, or email. We got your back when making the move here to San Diego. Now we're at La Costa Canyon Park. So the main park up in this section is Stagecoach Park, which we'll cut in some B-roll and show you guys what that looks like. But there's a few other little parks. This is probably like maybe the second biggest park. I don't know. Yeah. I'm just guessing. There's Cadencia Park. There's a bunch of like littler parks in this section. But if you got kids, you need to get out and about, this is a good little spot for sure. Especially this park. There's some trails around which we're walking up to right now. A big old play structure, bathrooms, which is key up here too. I don't know if you guys could see it, but there's somebody cruising up there. There's some nice views up there looking down the canyon. So this is just a nice little park. Basketball courts, tennis courts, kind of everything you need here. But if you're looking for things to do, here you go.
It's also a great spot for birthday parties. We just ran into a buddy that had one here for one of his kiddos. There's just a lot of space, and you can rent the gazebo area right there as well. But if you're living in La Costa, especially kind of old La Costa area, this is definitely a spot you're gonna hit.
Yeah, and there's also a few other things to do. Obviously, if you're moving here, beach is a big thing. People like, how far am I to the beach? For most of this, you're like 15 minutes or so. You're not too bad. There's a few different ways to shoot down. Now, once you get up to the coast, it's a little tricky because like if you're on the east side of the road, there's no real turn-ins. You got to go north, you got to go south. You'll learn it all when you get down here, but certain parking lots, you can only get in from one direction. But to get down there, it's probably like 15 minutes. In this section too, you're probably closer to like Lucadia if you want to go like out and eat, as opposed to Carlsbad Village. This is probably split in between. But like, you know, date nights, all that kind of stuff, want to get out and about, explore the city a little bit. Those are two little spots, so north or south on the Coast Highway right there.
Also, youth sports, as we've talked about a bunch, is huge here in here in North County. Baseball, soccer, lacrosse, a lot of those big sports or up and coming sports, if you will. LCYO is the baseball organization that we are part of and have been for a long time, but there's a lot of options for soccer here in Carlsbad, Encinitas, and in San Marcos.
And then also back to Stagecoach Park, during the summers, they have a circuit of where they cruise around to different parks and have concerts in the park, and Stagecoach is one of the stops. So if you're living up here, it's a quick little shot up there. Go and enjoy some, they got some 80s music, they got some reggae music going on, but that is another cool thing to do right here.
So we're heading right through the heart of kind of old La Costa. This area, you're gonna get a lot more of that custom feel. Larger lots, but the house doesn't take up the whole lot, like in La Costa Oaks. And it's kind of a ton of different options. There's a lot of single-story houses, there's a lot of two-story, small, big. La Costa has just a wide variety of different types of housing.
Now we're at Meadow Ridge, which is one of the bigger, I would say the biggest condo community up here. So not only do we have, you know, the huge houses at like $2.5 million, you do have some more affordable condo options, which a lot of people that we've chatted with, they kind of overlook this area. It's right on the border of San Marcos, so literally right across the street. Another neighborhood we talk about a lot is San Alejo Hills. So you're kind of right set in the back corner of Carlsbad, but you do have this condo complex. Everyone has garages, which is nice as far as condo complexes go. You got the tennis courts, you don't have to worry about yards. We got the landscapers, they're all working out here right now, cutting the grass and whatnot, which is nice. Patios, some of the floor plans are a little funky where you have like a reverse floor plan where the bedrooms are downstairs and then the living area is upstairs. I think it's kind of weird. What do you think?
I just like the fact that there's condo condo style option here, and then there also are townhome style too. So if you're looking for kind of that traditional townhome, there are a lot of units in here that have that to offer too. Some of the confusion about La Costa as a whole is school districts. This section of Carlsbad is in the 92009 zip code and feeds into 3 different school districts. So you hear us talk about it a lot, but this section, Meadow Ridge, feeds into San Marcos School District, where La Costa Oaks and kind of that southern La Costa area that we were in before feed into Encinitas and San Diego School District. So just something to keep in mind. There's also sections of La Costa Greens that feed into Carlsbad. So you just have to look at every listing kind of in detail if you're looking for a specific school district. We are in La Costa Valley, another one of the newer communities here in kind of South La Costa, built in the late 90s, early 2000s. Really cool community, kind of that medium level size home, a little bit smaller than La Costa Oaks, but
medium level size.
Right, medium level.
If you're looking for a medium level size.
Just not on the tiny side.
Yeah.
They're not a condo. So, but just a really cool community built around. They have their own school that they built at the same time. They have an epic clubhouse, which we're walking towards right now, with pool, tennis courts, playground, preschool, pretty much clubhouse with a gym and stuff too. So, just a really cool community. Not a huge HOA either for what you get. And then also, kind of right on a whole ton of trails, right on a canyon. There are spots where power lines go through, but it's not as bad as La Costa Oaks, like Chris mentioned earlier.
Yeah, and they have little events here. So we just walked by the sign. They're having an Oktoberfest for members only right here. You got to get your tickets right across the street. It's the San Diego Sports Complex. So if you got kids in sports in this area, you'll probably hit that a lot. We had soccer practice up there a lot the last few years. They have baseball and stuff up there as well. So it's right across here. And then we're right by, I don't know where it's going to show in this video if we were already there or if we're going to show you here next, but the Beacon, which is the new shopping center, kind of right at the end here. And so La Costa Town Square, where we were, is like the main shopping center. But as you're heading to here, you can hit up a lot of the big box stores over in Encinitas. So Targets, Home Depots, you got Kohl's, all that kind of stuff right up El Camino. You do have the Forum, which is kind of like higher end shops. You got your Lululemons, you got your Apples. There was something else that somebody was just going there for, and I forget what it was, but all those kind of stores over that way. And then the Beacon, which is a little bit further up the road, where it was kind of a rundown little strip mall. Well, we're gonna show you that anyway, so, and maybe you've already seen it, but very cool. And little coffee shop you gotta hit up over there, Lofty Coffee. So all that is right here. And this is one of the areas where you're a little bit closer to the beach too. So maybe you're looking in that 10-minute range. I can see the ridges right over here. Once you get over there, you drop on down and then you're heading into kind of the coastal zone over there. So that's all right here. Nice spot, Costa Valley. Now this is the Beacon. This is the happening spot. This is the new shopping center that we were talking about, or not shopping center.
Old but new.
Old but new. Yeah, it's been here for a long time. There was not much in here, but now somebody else has come in. They've redone a lot of this stuff, and a few shops started popping up. You got Lofty Coffee back here, which is a local coffee shop. They were like one of the first in here. There's an Equinox gym. I think it's like a high-end gym. At the other side over here, you have Shake Shack. You have Jenny's Ice Cream. There's the Wise Ox. There is La Costa Wine Company at the other end, and a few other spots popping in here in the next few months here as well. So it's happened. We just discovered, well, two things. First off, if you come here during lunch, it is
Packed.
yeah, Cassidy was parking his truck in here, barely found a spot. We did find one spot, but it was in the Tesla parking lot, which we didn't know was here either. So that's up top. And so if you got a Tesla, come here for lunch, park up there, you get a nice little charge going on.
Some of the other spots that are opening up or have opened up in here is Lolo 55, a taco spot. There's a new little pizza spot opening up downstairs from us right now. And like Chris mentioned, the Lofty behind us. If you are thinking about moving out this way, you might find yourselves having coffee with us right here at Lofty in the Beacon.
Yeah, we've had a few coffee meetings here from people just like you who are relocating out here to San Diego. Now we're back in the studio. I'm gonna jump into the map and show you where we cruised around a few different areas of La Costa, give you an overhead view so that when you're exploring, when you're looking at different areas of La Costa, you're gonna know where you're going, what you're talking about, and have a much better knowledge of what La Costa is all about. Because there's a lot of La Costas. I have a map right here that has a ton of La Costas, or it's all South Carlsbad. It's a little beat up, but the map is, let me count out how many there are for you. We got that areas that do have La Costa in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 29. Nearly 30 areas that have La Costa in it. 30 different neighborhoods that have La Costa, plus micro neighborhoods within those neighborhoods. So it can get confusing, but if you're cruising around, you got questions as you're exploring, as you are thinking about moving out here, that's what we're here for. So be sure to reach out. But let's jump into the map and show you where we cruised today. Not in the North Pacific, but flying in downtown San Diego. We just always give you that as a base because this is where your central hub is. So if you visited San Diego, this is where you are usually starting. You're going to head up the 5 freeway right here into Carlsbad, kind of this central, little bit inland area of Carlsbad. As we're zooming in, Aviara is a little bit to the west. And then you can see here's some of the neighborhoods that we did cover. We started actually down to the southern portion here, and where that Petco is popping up. And this is the La Costa Town Square. So let's see if it's even built on this map. So if you're living in a lot of La Costa areas, this is one of the shopping centers that you're going to be hitting because you do have like a big grocery store. You got your Bonds, you got your 24-hour fitness. Right over in this section, you do have your Sinopolis. There's this is kind of the little main central strip where you do have some of the eating spots. Nothing like too local. You're going to probably go down to like downtown Carlsbad, the village Carlsbad to get a lot of that stuff. But you will find like Bushfire. This is the place that we mentioned in there that Cassie's been to a few times. But yeah, it's a decent sized little shopping center, and it's right next to a few of the areas that we did cover. We didn't mention it in the video, but Stagecoach Park as well is right down to the south in this area. So great park. We go there. I've been there a bunch of times. This is where they have like little soccer camps up to the top area. You have the baseball fields, and they do convert those into soccer fields during whenever they have soccer games, but a big gym and stuff. So you got basketball and whatnot, tennis courts. That's right there too. Public park, nice, wide open, pretty cool amenity to have in this little section here. La Costa Oaks South is one of the neighborhoods that we did start in as well. This is going to be on the almost very eastern portion of Carlsbad. You can see as we're cruising out. So beach-wise, if you're moving to San Diego for the beach, it does look a little far out, but it's honestly not too bad because you can just shoot down, well, there's a few ways. You go down Rancho Santa Fe if you want to end up in Leucadia. You cut down La Costa Avenue and make that all the way to the beach. One thing about the beaches here, when you do get to a lot of these end roads that go to Coast Highway in Carlsbad, it's a little bit difficult to get on the other side of the road. So this whole section right here, you're going to have to go down to the beach, and then you're going to have to go north. And then if you want to hit up like Ponto Beach, which we mentioned in the video, maybe we didn't mention it, but it's an awesome beach right here at the southern edge, right on the edge of Encinitas and Carlsbad. great for kids. You have parking there, you have bathrooms there, you can walk right onto the beach. So pretty awesome. But anyways, if you're coming from a lot of those sections, you're going to have to go north, do a U-turn up farther north, come back around. So you'll get used to it. It's not too bad. Or you can cut down south into some of the beaches in Encinitas as well. So that's one of the areas that we did hit. These ads are keep popping up, but nonetheless, we'll keep rolling. La Costa Oaks South, and then a few shots are from La Costa Oaks North as well. Both of them do have their little community centers. And then one other huge amenity in this section too is all of these little dotted lines cruising up here. These are all trails out here. So there's this big hill right on the edge of La Costa Oaks North and South, and it's the Rancho La Costa Reserve. Once again, you got to get La Costa in the name as again. So anyways, a ton of trails up there. You can bring your bike up there, your mountain bike or whatever. And it actually connects to a lot of trails. If you wanted to, you can go elsewhere back in San Alejo. Anyways, as far as trails in this area of Carlsbad, that's where you're going to be looking there. Real quick, before we go to the park, one other little shopping center where you do have Sprouts in here. And there's actually a few little places to eat in here as well. But that's another little shopping center right across from that Stagecoach Park. From La Costa Oaks, we cruised over. Oh, Sinopolis, obviously luxury theater. They serve drinks and food and all that kind of stuff in your seats. Pretty awesome. But from La Costa Oaks, we actually went to this smaller park right in here. So La Costa Canyon Park. And this one's definitely much smaller than the Stagecoach Park, but awesome park as well. So you got the playground. You do have tennis courts here as well. There's a little trail cruising around. So get out, stretch the legs a little bit. Beautiful views from up here. And there's a few other neighborhoods kind of surrounding this area as well. So you have a few other La Costa areas in here as well, which we didn't cover in the vlog style video. So if you have any questions about those, just drop us a comment below. We will get those questions answered for you. And right to the west of La Costa Canyon Park, this is where you do have the Omni La Costa Resort and Spa. So if you're living here, there's Bob's Steak and Chop House in there. Good spot to grab some dinner. You can get a day pass to go enjoy the pool. They got water slides and stuff. So you can obviously golf there if you want as well. But we know some people, a lot of folks around here who live here in Carlsbad, Encinitas, Oceanside, wherever it might be, and they go here for staycation. So nice little spot to have, nice amenity to have right here in La Costa. As we go back from the park, and we cruised back up Rancho Santa Fe Road past La Costa Oaks North on the way back. And we hit up, it's not labeled on here, but this little section right around here is La Costa Meadow Ridge. So all of this section here is a bunch of those. This is where those townhomes, this is where the condos, this is one of the more affordable areas in Carlsbad. Now, some of them are kind of funky where you have the reverse floor plans, where you do come in and you have the living areas, the kitchen and the living room, and you have like a patio on the top level. And then you go downstairs. That's where you have the bedrooms and, the shared bathroom and stuff. But it really depends. There's different types of homes. There's some twin homes in here as well. So you got a few different things. But once again, big tennis courts. You do have the pool area over on this section here. And yeah, it's just like I said, it's more affordable. You're right on the edge of San Marcos. So directly to the east, you do have San Marcos. This is where you start getting into San Alejo Hills. Now, if you're going here, if you're living here, a little bit different to get to the beach. You're not going that same way. There's a few different roads to cut down. And then also, as you're going down, you might split it between going to either Bressi Ranch right up here to the north, where they do have Trader Joe's. They do have a bunch of restaurants in here. Pretty neat little area. It's Bressi Ranch, one of the more walkable neighborhoods in Carlsbad. But from Meadow Ridge, so you can shoot up there real quick. You can shoot down to the corner right here where you see Beach Plum Kitchen popping up. We do have another Vaughn's. You do have a Black Rail Kitchen and Bar. There's a few more restaurants and stuff over this way. So a little more infrastructure, and there's another Sinopolis here. So there's two Sinopolis in this section of Carlsbad. So there's two La Costa Sinopolis. Is Sinopoli? I don't know how you'd say that, but nonetheless, This shopping center is right here, so easy to get to that. You could also go down to the south to the La Costa Town Square. You have all those options from Meadow Ridge but one thing about living back there, it's going to take you a little longer for your commute if you have to go north or south on the 5. Yeah, you do have a little bit more of a way to get down there if you're working downtown, if you're working in that central area of San Diego down here. Going to take a little extra time, but like I said, you're going to be living in Carlsbad. It's going to be a little bit more affordable. And once again, one thing about this area of Carlsbad, some of these neighborhoods feed into Encinitas school districts, some feed into San Marcos school districts, and some feed into Carlsbad school districts. So they're all different. If you're looking to get your kids into a specific school district, just be aware and look it up and make sure you are looking at the right homes. Now heading down to the south a little bit, here is La Costa. It won't bring up anything, but as you go down off Calle Barcelona, we're just north of where it says Rancho Ponderosa. This area right here is the third area we hit, which is La Costa Valley. So you have a handful of different neighborhoods in here, all similar style. You can see just all the roofs and stuff. Basically, it's just one big tract neighborhood going through most of this section. This is where we were walking down one of these trails right over here, where you're right around the association. So if you're living in this area, you do have access to this isn't public park. This is just for La Costa Valley members. There's a preschool here. I'm not sure if that's just for La Costa Valley members actually, but the amenities over on this side. So the pool, the tennis courts, there's playground, etc. There's a little community center as well. Those are for La Costa Valley members. But this area is big enough where you do have some options in here. You can get a few different sizes of houses, a few different styles, not styles really, a few different sizes of houses, yes. A few different floor plans, yes. But La Costa Valley, it's one of the popular neighborhoods here in the La Costa section as well. And then just one other area I want to point out is kind of this central area here, which is like old La Costa. So you will see a bunch of homes pop up in here. Old, it's not like crazy old where if you're coming from the East Coast or something, we're talking like 70s and 80s homes. So not like crazy old where La Costa Valley is somewhat newer. Once you go to the north here, La Costa, right off La Costa Avenue and all these little streets in here, you will find a bunch more houses in that old La Costa area. And then the last spot we hit was right where you see Shake Shack here. And this is the Beacon in La Costa. It's recently been renovated, so it's actually a pretty neat spot. As they've been building it out, it was basically pretty empty until Lofty Coffee was one of the first ones in here. And then you started filling it in with Shake Shack. You had Jenny's really good ice cream here. Lola 55. There's a new pizza spot, right? It's not popping up right now. It's right here. I think it's called Spitfire, which I've heard good things about. And then you have the high-end gym Equinox. And the La Costa wine shop is over in the corner here. Anyways, there's a lot of cool little spots in there. Parking lot gets crazy packed. But from what they've done to what it was, I think it's a pretty cool little spot to have. And then right across the street, there's another little shopping center as well. This is where you have your Gelson's. There's a little gymnastic place over here. Rudy's Taco Shop is pretty good. So anyways, that is this little section. And this is when you're getting a little bit closer to the beach, these little sections of La Costa. But once again, La Costa Oaks compared to La Costa Valley, you're saving maybe 5 minutes or so if that's something that you are interested in. And let us know if you want us to do a more in-depth where we go through like all the Costas. We could do another map video to really dive in deep.
So there's a lot of neighborhoods around the La Costa area that might work. You got Encinitas, you got some other parts of this lower Carlsbad, southern Carlsbad area. But if La Costa is checking off a lot of boxes that you're looking for, definitely check out that next video that's popping up, and it's a little bit more information on La Costa specifically.